Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today we're going to be going over Strata number 4 from 1986 and Renegade Press. But before we do that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access, it's number 32, and it has an insanely awesome cover by Jeff Bartrand, and backup work by Paul Courtjohn and Jeremy Duncan. I always want to give him James Duncan or something like that. I don't know why, and I'm sorry, Jeremy. But it's got 3 stories. One with Death Knight, and Paul Courtjohn has some cool stuff. And like I said, Jeremy Duncan and this amazing cover. You can get these at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin. My website has sadly gone defunct, so there is no longer an alexanderturbin.com. But as with all old things, new things come along, and just like Star Trek says in The Death of Spock, I don't know. There must be some cool quote from that movie for something new being born, because that's pretty much what happens in the movie. But I've got some cool stuff coming along as far as websites and other things going. So keep posted. And but you can always get these at AlexTurbin0441 at Yahoo, which is my email, or AlexTurbin04401 at Instagram. So let's get into Strata number 4. So this is by Renegade Press, which was the wife of Dave Sim. Dave Sim created, I don't know, did they create Renegade Press, or was it some other Aardvark? It was Aardvark. Excuse me. And then they had like a few titles, he and his wife, and things were going really good. But then apparently they got divorced, and she moved to the United States and started Renegade Press and took a bunch of the titles with her. I think that might be why he went loopy. Did she break his heart, and that's why he became this sexist kind of weird dude? I kind of think that might be what happened. Anybody that's into the whole Dave Sim kind of thing, let me know if you think that's what happened too. But she brought a whole bunch of things over with her, like Flaming Carrot and stuff like that. I've never actually read a Flaming Carrot, and I'm kind of looking forward to picking one up somewhere, hopefully a dollar bin, but you never know, because it's just one of those things that I never got, but I really always wanted, and I would love to go over it on the channel with you guys. But this is Strata. Never had heard about it, and I had never read it. Like I said, this is from 1986, very cartoony look, and there's actually nothing wrong with that. Very animation looking, and that's really kind of a cool look. However, I just read this thing. There's no intro letter. There's an intro letter from the publisher. It doesn't talk anything about the book. But there's no intro letter because I don't know what happened in issues 1 through 3. I think it's some sort of space pirate, space Star Wars kind of thing, where it's a sci-fi-ish kind of thing. I don't know what's going on. They don't really do a great job of telling you what's going on. And it's every other page. It switches scenes and switches characters. They don't tell you what each other character is. It starts okay. We've got this thing. It looks like it's supposed to be like a space station kind of city, and it's like on an asteroid, upside down something. But I assume it's connected to a planet. I don't know, but it looks pretty cool. And that's the thing, is this art is really it's interesting. It's got some really dynamic poses. Anyway, the writing is by Joe Junt. The pencils are by Ray Murtaugh, inks by Jim Brosman, and lettering by Mark Spengler. As always, we'll go through the book, and then we'll go back and we'll go through the writing and the art. So it starts off with somebody. Sometimes you wake up and just everything is going wrong, and everybody has that. That truer words were never uttered in a comic book ever. But it's apparently some wizardy dude. Maybe, we don't know. I don't know. And then it goes to look 14311. I don't know. that's they look like soldiers. They look like some kind of soldiers, and they're guarding something. And somebody says, "What? What's that? What's what? I thought I heard something." So they're definitely guards. And then this is okay. Um, I'm going to go back to this and kind of talk about how the narrative art is really kind of throws me for a loop. But starts off pretty good. We see one of the guards being attacked or put to sleep or crack. We see crack, so maybe his neck was broken or something like that. But there's only one of them there. So where's the other one? I don't know. It's some sort of dude. He looks older. He looks like he's in ratty clothing. So he goes up on top of this. Is it a train? Is it a spaceship? Is it a building? I don't really know. But he's on top of it and he's running. He's got this weapon and he throws the weapon and then he maybe it's a knife. I think it's a dagger actually. It's a dagger. Gets him in the back. Then he jumps over him. I think maybe. And then Chakunk something happens and then somebody yells freeze. So I'm a little bit don't really understand what's going on. So that was 3 pages, and then it hops to another scene where there's a bird up in the sky, and then there's a squirrel running, and then some sort of targeting system, and then the bird is actually a mechanical bird, swoops down, grabs the squirrel. Cut to another scene. We've got these 5 characters and I don't know who they are. They don't explain anywhere who they are or what they're doing. So they're just like, so what do we do now? Surrender. He puts his arms up. He's got gas canisters. That's pretty cool. And then they're shooting into the gas, but one of them is like a night looking creature. I'm thinking that there's like animals in this universe that can talk, and maybe it's kind of like a Lion Witch in the Wardrobe kind of thing, where it's C.S. Lewis. Is that C.S. Lewis? I think that's C.S. Lewis. And so I think that they're animals that can talk and walk and fight and stuff like that. So that we've got this bear and this other creature. It's a bear and something. It's a bear knight and it's a something else. I think maybe it's 2 bears or teddy bears. I don't know. It's hard to say. And like again, I said they don't explain anything. They get away. They go down this chute apparently. And then the cyborg robots tell them to go chasing after them. But apparently only 2 of them go down, or do they all go down? Nope, they only 2 of them go down because this is a square hole, and this is some sort of other Star Warsy type trash compactor kind of scene, I believe. And so it's this guy and his girlfriend. I don't know. From later on, it kind of seems like it is. And then this guy, and then the 2 stuffed animals, or animals, whatever they are. They fall through the chute and end up in, I can only assume that it's in here, and they end up in some sort of water, and it looks like it might be a sewer drain, but then something happens, and something goes past them. Does it whoosh? There's like a room, and I don't know what that is supposed to be. It's some sort of, they fall down into the water to avoid some kind of whatever it is. The scene goes back to the old man that was breaking into wherever. There's some guards chasing after him, but then he sees the stuffed animals or whatever. They're being chased by the stuffed animals or the animals or whatever they are, and he's kind of weirded out by it, but they kind of just go past him, and he's like, okay, whatever that is. We go to the 2 characters who are in the water, and it's some sort of river, lake or something, or like I said, sewers. I assume because is this a sewage plant? No, I don't think it's a sewage plant. But they get out of the water, and they're soaked. There's a bar there. And one of them says, "Hey, let's get a drink," and the other one's like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I think he's supposed to be like a Han Solo kind of character. Remember, this is 1986, so Star Wars has, is still a huge thing. It's always going to be a huge thing, but it was just like right when Star Wars: Return of the Jedi was coming out, and everyone was still excited about it. Um, the stuffed animals, I guess they split up. I really wish, this is one of the things that I'll talk about in the writing. I wish they would explain what happened. They One of them could have said, "Hey, let's split up in the smoke," or something like that, but they didn't. And so much of comic books, in if you don't really know what the reader is going to see and if they're going to understand it, then you really have to dumb it down a little bit and tell them what they are seeing. Because especially, I don't know, there's obviously an editor, because this is Renegade Press, and it has it used to be Denny Sim, but she's Denny something else now. And so she's running the whole thing. So she should have been like, "Hey, we gotta do some stuff to let everybody know exactly who these characters are," or whatever, because this is issue 4. So if you're getting issue 4, I'm not gonna buy issue 5 if I don't know what the heck's going on. So they jump into this aircraft. They boot out whoever the pilot was, and I don't know. There's some sort of guy waving them on. There's some sort of airplane that they're in. Um, we go back to the scene where the squirrel was taken by the robotic bird. He's going to that cool structure with it's an upside down city on some sort of rocky crevasse or whatever, which it looks really cool. I don't know if Strata is the name of the world or the name of the character, but they fly into one of the I don't know, undercroppings or something like that, some sort of building, drop off the squirrel, and it's this guy from the very beginning. So this guy has something to do with this guy, the squirrel, and he says something. The squirrel attacks him, but the wizard or whatever bolts him, hits him with some electricity, or knocks him out or something. He says, look around you. How long will it be before winter reaches the edges of the world? Stupid squirrel, do you still think I'm your enemy? Guy isn't going to do anything. She's nutso, or maybe you haven't noticed. Then again, you're a squirrel. You like nuts. And the squirrel says, "I won't talk." Good, I don't care, but you better listen. And then it cuts to another scene. Some of the problem of this book is that it has too many scenes cutting into each other. If they had just, stuck with one of the stories for more than 2 pages, I think it would have really helped the story move along at a better, not at a better pace, because it goes at a very brisk pace. And these short cut scenes do help with that pace, but that also triggers some of the lack of understanding what's going on, some of the confusion. Um, they're at the bar or whatever, and more guards come in searching for them. Apparently, he grabs onto the chandelier, it smashes into the guard, and they're going to leave. And it cuts back to the teddy bears. I think it's the teddy bears. I assume that's their plane. And oh, I have no idea what goes on. This one in particular, I think this is, I don't know, some sort of character is saying something about where is Orwell? Why can't you raise him? He's not answering, sir. So this is a bad guy, and this is the guards, and then he does something, says "Moons of Madness," and I don't know, does he see the old man with the oil drum? And this is the plane with the stuffed animals, or the animals. I think they're just regular animals. Um, the guard says, "May I help you?" And then somebody who was from this page when they were being when they were the third page, I think, when they were being they were caught here. They were caught by the guards, and then he puts the smoke out. It's this guy. Don't know who that is. We haven't seen him since the beginning of the book. I may sound like I'm being harsh, but I really like the art, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But he kind of swings around the cool structure, and and he's like Spider-Man-y, and he does a thwap, and I don't know what that is. His rope breaks. He smashes into, luckily, the couple that were warming up and drying off and stuff because they were in that fight and they were in the sewers or whatever they were. But then a guard smashes through, and I get confused here again. I think this is bad editing. I don't think that this is anything like that, because she is in her towel, only in a couple towels, and she distracts the guard with her nudity, and then so the good guys can smash the guards and stuff. But then it cuts to here, and I think this is her, only she's dressed. She's fully dressed. Has it been like 20 minutes? So she gets fully dressed. She even has like a belt on, or I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused. So it's either bad editing or bad narrative art, and I don't know. I don't understand. So the wizard or whatever he is talking to the squirrel, and they're saying stuff that I don't understand about the story. Something about I don't know. I don't know. Like he said, winter's coming or something. I mean, is this pre George R. R. Martin and Game of Thrones? I don't know. Let's read this and see if we can figure it out. You can't fool me, Orwell. Nature told me you sent out the activator. You may be a smart squirrel, but be careful. You're not very wise. It's too late for her to stop the activator now. So there's a Mother Nature, and there's an activator. We don't know. Clarence, don't you see we all want the same thing? I want that ring back. So he wants his ring, and the squirrel's name is Clarence. And you're going to give it to me. Why don't you get it back yourself? You know I can't leave my keep. It's just say my last representative has gotten a little over his head and much too independent. You're wrong, Orwell, and I am wise. I didn't know you had an activator. So I guess he isn't wise because he didn't know. And then we've got the old guy with his oil drum, and he's put some gasoline down. He throws his match, and something blows up. I don't know what blows up. The plane is taking off, and these guys who are not dressed or not dressed the same way that they were, yeah, are they dressed as... No, they're not dressed the same way, but maybe the guards made them. Maybe they captured him and they made them get dressed the way they wanted them to be dressed, or whatever. Maybe these are prisoners' clothes. Air pirates, you stupid, deluded little children. Do you know what you've done? Do you? Let's see that. No. See what? Oh, it's the ring. Some sort of ring that the character before was looking for. The bad guy, is he the main bad guy? I don't know. He says, ha, ha, ha. He's got the ring. And then this is something, some sort of cityscape or something. I don't know what that is. And then mother. So we've got Mother Nature being worshipped by these cultists, maybe, which is cool. All the players are now in position. The time is now. Let the summoning begin. So then he's upset about the ring and Cara Doom, and we don't know what that is. I think there's some sort of summoning going on, some sort of creature. Maybe it's a blast from, I don't know. I really don't know. And then there's the ring, and yeah, I feel, I don't know, kind of happy and tingly all over. So they were summoning some sort of goddess, I think, maybe, or some sort of energy beam. Arthur, do you feel strange? Yeah, real positive, like. And then maybe, I don't know, then their airship, they jump out of it, and then they're floating, and they're giant. So they're giants, and the summoning is complete. I don't understand what's going on here. Some of this stuff, as for the writing, let's talk about the writing. The dialogue, it doesn't make any sense because the story doesn't make any sense. And like I said, the pages are just two cutscene is like 2 pages, cut. 2 pages cut, 2 pages cut. Yes, it does lead to the action, and it makes it a little bit more intense, a little bit faster paced, but it also makes it way more confusing. If you don't know who these people are, which I don't, then it makes it very confusing. I don't know who the squirrel is. I don't know who these 5 people are. I don't know the name of the world. I don't know the story from issue 1 through 3. Man, I wish I knew something about this. Anybody that knows anything about Strata, please clue me in because I really wish I did know a few things about what was going on previously and whatever, and however many issues that this went. Um, but I'm telling you right now, I would not pick up Strata number 4 and then want to pick up Strata number 5. I do like the art, but let's get back into the writing. So I mean, it's got some stereotypical characters. It's got the bad guy here. It's got the hero here. Maybe I don't know his damsel in distress slash partner, kind of like what was that movie with the that Luc Besson directed and kind of wrote. I can't remember it. I really like it too. I'm trying to remember it. But I don't know. It just happens so fast. Don't know the characters. Don't understand the plot. So it's very confusing, and it makes whatever dialogue that may be really good in here. And I can kind of piece together some dialogue that I think would be good, like "Care for a drink, my dear? You're joking. No, I'm serious. Let's go inside." So that's kind of a classic Han Solo and not Princess, well, kind of Princess Leia, but so that is kind of cool. But I just, there's so few and far between that I understand what's going on that it really makes it's so distracting that the dialogue is something that I'm not really interested in, because if I'm not interested in the story, or if I'm lost and confused from the story, then I'm not going to then I'm not really going to understand the plot. I'm not really going to care about the dialogue, which is very unfortunate. The art I do like. I do like this very animation-y feel. I feel like this is very Space Ace kind of stuff, and really I like Space Ace. I have a Space Ace comic that I'm going to review at some point. I think. I'm pretty sure. Anybody that doesn't know Space Ace, it was a video game just like Dragon Slayer. I can't remember whether it came out before or after Dragon Slayer, but it was one of those Don Bluth cartoon video games where you chose the direction. If you didn't choose the direction right, then you die, which I died all the time in Dragon Slayer. It pissed me off so bad. Someday I'm gonna get like a cheap copy of Dragon's Lair and just beat it, because I really love the animation style and the art style and the story and all that stuff. So I really like that, and this reminds me of that. I mean, everybody loves cartoons. Who doesn't love cartoons? Who doesn't love this post anime kind of weird Don Bluthy kind of thing going on? I like it. I like the art style, but the narrative art, I feel like it's partially part of the writing, because if the writing is bad narrative art as far as comic books is concerned, then the artist gets lost himself. So the writer has to be clear on what they want. The artist has to be clear on what is happening, and they have to really be able to communicate that which is going on. Like this here, I saw this. I didn't think it was a knife. That's the bad of the illustrator, because he could have had like some sort of hilt or something that could have shown it was a little bit more. I thought it was a billy club, but it does show that the knife is stuck in his back. That's fine. He jumps over him, I guess. I I can understand that, but I don't understand what this is. What is this kachunk? Chakunk. I don't know what that is. And then freeze. Is it a gun? What is this? I have no idea what that is. And so, not knowing what this is, going to this scene, I can understand the scene. He's being chased by guards. They got him in a spotlight. I understand that. What is this? I don't know what that is. And my brain stopped looking at the illustrations, stopped looking at the narrative art, because I'm trying to figure what this is, and then it just breaks the flow completely, and I don't understand what's going on. I understood this clearly enough. This was great. I understood this clearly enough. I knew as soon as he lifted his arm, the canister was going to blow smoke and the whoosh, and that's great. Like I said, I wish I knew who these characters were. Put a little narration. The 4 characters, blah 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 blah, have been caught by the guards of blah 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 blah, and they have to surrender. Something like that. Anything to tell me who these people are and what they're doing. So then the smoke It's fine. They jump. The bears jump. That's okay. They just decide to go their own way. They could have said, we'll meet you. We'll split up, something like that. They escaped 0-0. We've lost them. So yes, they've all escaped. They've all gone different directions, but we don't know that. And there's only one hatch, but this is a different hatch. So I don't know. And so it's these two characters. This here, they go down it. I don't understand. Were they supposed to be show them in this outside of this thing and then going up? Because it kind of shows them going up. Like I'm completely lost. Is like gravity topsy turvy in this real weird world? I kind of maybe think that is what is going on. Like they're supposed to be going shooting up, but they're looking down. It doesn't make any sense. They're looking down. They're crawling down. He's jumping. She's crawling down. Oh, all right. He falls. He goes into the water. Then she goes into the water. Okay, I understand that. But why are they showing the outside of this? Are they in there? I don't know. I get a little bit confused. This is fine. There's just so many pages, so many panels where I get totally lost, and like it just breaks the immersion, which is one of my big pet peeves, is breaking the immersion from a comic book. If you're confused, that destroys any kind of immersion, and that wrecks the whole appeal of the comic book, and really ruins the story. Especially like here they've got the ship. What's this? Don't know what this is. Them jumping into the ship. There's no action. There's no. Here's beginning action. That's fine. What's this? There's no follow through. When you see the action, you have to have the beginning of the action, the middle of the action, and then the follow through or the resolution. Follow through, resolution. Don't know what this is, so the follow through is weak, and I just don't understand it. What's going on? I do kind of get it because the resolution, but I don't know. I just wish things were so much clearer. As far as story wise and art wise, I really do like the art. I like the panel layouts. I like so much of it. I love this whole scene here. This is super Spider-Man-y, and it's really great. I really like it. He's swinging from this kind of thing, this Sky City kind of thing that they've stolen from Star Wars, and I do like that. This here, this is the fault of the artist and or the writer and or the editor. This whole thing, I wish that had been, done a little bit better. So I don't know. I'm so ambivalent about the art and the writing. Not so much the art because I do enjoy the art, but the writing and the narrative art, which is kind of a interweaving of both the writing and the art. You should know exactly what's going on. The cover, I'm really not too excited about the cover. This robot is fighting these two bears and the human. That's fine. It's very energetic. There's lots of motion. There's lots of stuff going on. This pink really kind of drives me out of it. I don't know why. It's nicely oriented with the layout and everything, but this pink really just kind of messes everything up for me. I would have much rather seen this maybe a sky or a blue from light to, or even a pink that it's like, I don't know. It just, drives me crazy because I really kind of like this illustration, even though it's a little bit, it's static. Like there's lots of energy and stuff going on, but it's also a little too chaotic. It's a little too static because I don't know what's going on in this, and which is okay because it's the cover. And it's got some three dimensionality to it, which is great. It's the pink. The pink really drives me out of it. Once I see all of that pink, maybe if there'd been other characters, I think if there had been other characters, then there wouldn't have been so much negative space. Then that pink, I wouldn't have cared about it so much. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Strata. Let me know what you think. I'm going to give this a. If I see Strata number 5 out there, I'm not, or 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to buy them. So that is my 7. That's my baseline 7. it's it's not at 7. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a the confusion really bothers me. The confusingness of the story. I feel like there is a good story in there. Some sort of ecological sci-fi thing is going on, but I just can't piece it together well enough for me to enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 4. Uh, and that is only because of the art that I enjoyed some of the art. The writing, too confusing. If they had just put some sort of narration as to describing the characters, the scenes, the story, the plot, anything, if they had done any of that, I think I would have given this maybe it might have gone up to a 7 because the art I really do kind of enjoy. I feel like it could have used a little bit more detail, but that's perfectly fine to not have detail in an animation type style like that cartoony animation style. That's perfectly okay. But I just didn't really enjoy the whole thing, the whole experience. I didn't enjoy. I do like this logo. I really like that logo. So I'm giving it a 4. So let me know what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. This is what I do. I really love to go through old indie comics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, whenever. I love indie comics, especially black and whites, but I love really anything Marvel, DC that has really some artistic value to it. So yeah, please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, giving me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. But more importantly than any of that is I love to converse with you guys about comic books. If you've read all the Stratas and you love them, please let me know. Please fill me in on some of the things that I'm missing. But if you've got some of these and you've read them and you're like, I don't understand what's going on either, let me know that too. Or if you know something about Renegade Press and all that stuff, because that is a very interesting thing too. The whole Dave Sim and Denny Sim. I don't know. Did she go back to her other name? That's an interesting thing to talk about too. So thanks for watching, and it's a Monday, so we've got an excellent week coming up. We're going to talk with Joe about the new Superman movie because I saw it, and I'm going to say right now that I loved it. But we're going to talk about that. Full spoilers. We're going to have spoilers. So if you watch that video, spoilers ahead. So thank you for watching. And we're all part of this community together, this comic book community. Sometimes I think that it's a dying art form, that it's going to go the way of the dodo. But then other times I'm reinvigorated by, awesome new stuff or looking back at old stuff. But we're all in this together. We're all creators. We're all, artists, writers, readers. Being a reader is being creative. They often talk about how being a sports fan, you're not helping the athletes at all. You're not doing anything. You're not on the field. You're not on the ice. But to hell with that. Sports fans, they charge up the players, they charge up the arena. They are a part of everything that's going on. If you've ever been in an arena, you know what I'm talking about, whether or not your team just scored the winning goal and the whole thing erupts, or you're down by a goal and everybody flips their hat back upside down, and you need that goal, you need that run, and it's just tense with excitement, tense with energy. That's how comic books are. That's the creators need that energy, and everything's in on this together. So if you're just a reader, you're not just a reader, you're part of the whole experience. And I thank you for that. And also keep on creating.